Edgar TV.
How do there, guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV, where today what we're going to do is going to take a little look at a record. Today I'm going to pick out 5 players that are from my unbeaten record that I am proud of. So that's 5 players that haven't beaten me, and the rules are simple. It goes back to 2011 when I first joined the PDC. They have to be PDC ranked matches, and I have to have played them more than twice, so 2 or more times for it to count. I can't just beat them once and then class that as an unbeaten record. It has to be 2 or more to count. So let's have a look, guys, who's on this list. In first, we've got Stompe. Stompe from Holland, played darts originally on the BDO circuit, switched over to the PDC, and had success really on both codes. A legendary player from Holland, got a good record against Stompe, believe it's 3-0. Next up is Ted Hankey. Ted Hankey, a 2-time BDO Lakeside champion, switched over to the PDC after making a semi-final at the Lakeside. Then he switched over to the PDC. His first match in the PDC was against myself. I played him in Benidorm. It was actually a prelim game, so in those days it wasn't just a fixed 128 when you went into Europe. We had a couple of other people in, so there's a couple of prelims in the event. I drew Ted Hankey in a prelim, and I actually beat him in the prelim. I think it was 6-4. I then went back to my room with Prakash Jiwa. We stayed in the hotel itself. We went upstairs. We put Sky Sports News on, and it actually came up on Sky Sports News. Ted Hankey loses his debut PDC game to Matthew Edgar. That's when I knew that I'd just had a big win. Next up is a player currently within the top 64 on the PDC circuit. It's Jelle Klassen, and another former Lakeside champion. Another unbeaten record that I've got. Now, my favourite win against Jelle Klassen came in Barnsley a couple of years back. I needed to make a quarter-final to qualify through for the Players' Championship finals at Minehead. Drew Jelle Klassen in the first round and actually beat him, so that was a good win. Speaking of that day, ironically brings me to my next player, which is Robbie Green, the guy I played in the last 16 of that event, and I beat Robbie Green in the last 16 of that event, got me through to the quarterfinal where I actually lost to Benito Vanderpass. That game is on YouTube, but that did enough for me to qualify through to the Players' Championship at Minehead for the first time. So big win. Ironically that these two come back to back because they was both on that very same day. And finally, in 5th place is James Wilson. And no, I don't mean the footballer. Yes, I had to put the little reference in. I mean the Jammy Dodger, the Lethal Biscuits, something to do with biscuits. James Wilson. Played him a couple of times now. I seem to always do some big finishes against him. I played him this year in a European Tour qualifier. Took out a 170 at the right time, which is ironically the finish I took out to beat Gary Anderson with at the Summer Series. And I think the time before I had 120 finish, 125 and 132. I love taking out big finishes against James Wilson. And this guy's laugh, by the way, is so contagious.
Edgar TV.
And if you're enjoying Edgar TV, guys, do hit that subscribe button. Join the Edgar Nation. You can also find these social media tags in the link in the description below if you're interested in following me on any of these social media platforms.